Welcome back to the Healthy Living Podcast. I'm your host, Sarah Martinez, and today we're diving straight into something that's probably sitting in your kitchen right now, maybe even in your bowl as you're listening to this. If you're over 60, there's one breakfast habit that could be sabotaging your health every single morning, and most people have no clue. I'm joined today by Dr. Rebecca Emily, a geriatric nutritionist who spent the last 15 years studying how our nutritional needs change as we age. Dr. Emily, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Sarah. This is such an important topic that I wish more people understood.
Before we get into the nitty-gritty, let me just say, I was one of those people doing this wrong for years. My daughter Emma, she's 23, kept telling me my breakfast choices looked sad, and I thought she was just being dramatic. Turns out she wasn't wrong. Sometimes our kids see things we don't want to admit. So, Dr. Emily, what is this morning's mistake that so many of us are making?
It's refined cereals, Sarah. Those boxes of processed cereals that promise to be heart healthy or whole grain, but are essentially sugar bombs with a few vitamins sprinkled in. After 60, your body processes sugar completely differently than it did in your 40s. And starting your day with a blood sugar spike is setting you up for an energy crash, increased inflammation, and long-term metabolic issues.
Okay, but wait, I need to push back a little here because I've been eating the same bowl of bran flakes for probably 20 years. My doctor never said anything was wrong with it. Are we talking about the obvious sugar cereals, or are you saying even the healthy ones are problematic?
That's exactly the problem, Sarah. Even bran flakes, even the cereals marketed to seniors, are highly processed. Your bran flakes probably have about 12 grams of carbohydrates per serving, and when you add milk and maybe some fruit, you're looking at a meal that's going to spike your blood glucose within 30 minutes of eating.
This is depressing. So what happens to our bodies after 60 that makes this such a big deal?
3 major changes. First, your insulin sensitivity decreases. The same amount of sugar that your body handled fine at 45 now causes more dramatic blood sugar swings. Second, your muscle mass is naturally declining, which means that you're not burning glucose as efficiently. And third, your digestive system isn't producing digestive enzymes at the same rate, so these processed foods sit in your system longer, causing inflammation.
I'm thinking about my morning routine, and honestly, cereal feels convenient. I wake up, I pour it in a bowl, I eat it while I'm checking emails. Are you telling me I need to become one of those people who spends 30 minutes making elaborate breakfasts?
Not at all. Some of the best breakfast choices for people over 60 are actually simpler than cereal. 2 eggs scrambled with spinach takes 5 minutes. Greek yogurt with nuts and a few blueberries. Even last night's leftover chicken with some avocado.
Wait, leftover chicken for breakfast? That sounds weird.
I get that reaction a lot, but think about it. Why do we have this arbitrary rule that certain foods are only for certain meals? Your body needs protein in the morning, especially as you age. It doesn't care if that protein comes from eggs or chicken or fish.
You know what? You're right. I remember visiting my grandmother when I was younger, and she used to eat soup for breakfast sometimes. I thought she was losing it, but maybe she was onto something.
Exactly. Traditional breakfast foods in many cultures include things like miso soup, smoked fish, or vegetables. This idea that breakfast has to be sweet or grain-based is pretty recent, historically speaking.
So let's get practical. What does a good breakfast look like for someone over 60?
The foundation should be protein, at least 20 grams. That's about 3 eggs, or a cup of Greek yogurt, or a palm-sized portion of meat or fish. Then add healthy fats like avocado, nuts, or olive oil. Finally, add some vegetables or a small amount of low-sugar fruit.
Give me some specific examples, because I know people are driving to work right now thinking, this sounds great in theory, but what do I actually eat tomorrow morning?
Sure. Option 1, 2-egg omelet with spinach and cheese cooked in a little olive oil. Option 2, Greek yogurt with almonds and a few blueberries. Option 3, smoked salmon on half an avocado. Option 4, leftover soup from dinner. Seriously, soup is an excellent breakfast.
What about the people who say they're not hungry in the morning? I have friends who just drink coffee until lunch.
That's actually worse than eating cereal. When you skip breakfast entirely, especially after 60, you're setting yourself up for blood sugar crashes later in the day, which leads to poor food choices and overeating at dinner. Even if you're not hungry, your body needs fuel.
I'm curious about something. A lot of people our age are dealing with medications, health conditions. Does that change these recommendations?
Absolutely. If you're diabetic, these protein-focused breakfasts are even more crucial. If you're on blood pressure medication, you need to be careful about sodium, so processed cereals are actually worse because they're often high in hidden sodium. If you're taking statins, starting your day with healthy fats can actually help with some of the side effects.
What about cost? I keep hearing from people that eating healthy is expensive and eggs and salmon cost more than a box of cereal.
Let's do the math. A dozen eggs cost about $3 and gives you 4 breakfasts. That's 75 cents per meal. A box of healthy cereal costs $4 or $5 and might give you 6 servings, plus milk. You're not actually saving money with cereal, and you're definitely not saving on healthcare costs down the road.
That's a good point. What about people who travel a lot or have unpredictable schedules?
Hard-boiled eggs keep for a week. Nuts and seeds are portable. Even a protein shake with no added sugar is better than cereal. The key is planning ahead instead of just defaulting to whatever's convenient.
I want to address something that might sound shallow, but I know people are thinking it. What about weight? Will switching from cereal to eggs make me gain weight?
It's not shallow at all. It's a legitimate concern. But here's what happens. When you start your day with protein and healthy fats, instead of refined carbs, you stay full longer. Most of my patients end up eating less overall because they're not having those mid-morning cravings or afternoon crashes that lead to snacking.
I'm thinking about my own experience. I switched about 6 months ago, not because of any grand plan, but because I got tired of feeling hungry an hour after breakfast. I started scrambling eggs with whatever vegetables I had in the fridge, and I noticed I wasn't reaching for snacks at 10 a.m. anymore.
That's exactly the experience most people have. Your blood sugar stays stable, your energy is more consistent, and over time, many people find their cholesterol improves, their blood pressure stabilizes, and they just feel better overall.
What's the biggest mistake people make when they're trying to transition away from cereal?
They try to make it complicated. They think they need to become master chefs overnight. Start simple. Scrambled eggs, Greek yogurt, add one vegetable or one type of nut. Build from there.
Any foods people think are healthy breakfast alternatives but really aren't?
Smoothies with fruit juice, granola, most breakfast bars, and anything that claims to be natural or organic but is still basically sugar and refined flour. Just because something is organic doesn't mean it's good for your blood sugar.
I used to love those breakfast bars. They seemed so convenient.
I know, and the marketing is designed to make us think they're healthy. But if you look at the sugar content, most of them have as much sugar as a candy bar.
Before we wrap up, what would you say to someone who's listening to this and feeling overwhelmed or frustrated because they've been doing breakfast wrong for decades?
First, give yourself credit for being willing to learn and change. Second, remember that your body is incredibly adaptable. The benefits of switching to a protein-rich breakfast start within days, not months. And third, this isn't about perfection. Even making this change 3 days a week is better than not making it at all.
Perfect. Dr. Rebecca Emily, thank you so much for joining us today and for setting us straight about our breakfast habits.
Thanks for having me, Sarah. This has been great.
Well, there you have it, folks. Tomorrow morning, before you pour that bowl of cereal, remember what Dr. Emily said. Your body after 60 deserves better than a sugar rush followed by a crash. If this episode helped you understand something new about your health, please hit that like button and subscribe to the podcast. It helps us reach more people who might need to hear this information. And speaking of things you might not know about your health after 60, next time we're tackling something that affects nearly every senior but rarely gets talked about: dehydration. Most seniors are dehydrated and don't even know it. The signs might surprise you, and the solutions are simpler than you think. Until next time, I'm Sarah Martinez, reminding you that it's never too late to make changes that make you feel better. Take care of yourselves out there.